We have another first date report here. I think this is from a guy's point of view. He says, went on a date where she talked non-stop about herself for 2 hours before finally letting me speak and interrupting me within 30 seconds to say, I'm bored. Ouch. That is extremely rude from her. Let's read what this guy has to say. He says, the timeline of events. We met at a bar. I like that. It's kind of casual. You can stay for a drink or two, see if the vibe's right, and if it's not, then you can leave. Just don't get drunk on a first date, guys. Don't make a fool of yourself. But yeah, it's a good opportunity to have fun. Maybe have a little dance, get close, tease each other. I like it. It's much better than the dinner date and the cinema date that I was reviewing in my last video. I asked her initially how her day had been, and she spent about 45 minutes non-stop talking about it. I asked questions and listened. Now, that's a great strategy from you as a guy. I think usually guys speak maybe 20% to 30% on a date while the woman speaks for the rest of it. Because all you got to do as a guy is lead the conversation by asking questions. Let her talk about herself and she'll just take the conversation in lots of different directions. However, if she's only talking about herself and not asking you questions back, then that's a red flag. Because if she really likes you, she'd ask you questions. She wants to know more things about you. But if she's only talking about herself, then yeah, it comes across as quite self-centered. Comes across as her having, you know, no social cohesion. And yeah, for me, I couldn't deal with that. But usually it's fine if a girl is talking the most on a date. That's a good sign. But she's got to ask you some questions back. After about 45 minutes, she eventually asked me how my day was. And within a minute was interrupting me to bring it back to her. Sorry. Yeah, that's just rude, and already I can imagine what this woman is like. And yeah, she might be pretty. She might smell nice. But yeah, you don't want to be in a long-term relationship with someone like that. Hey, if you want something casual, then great. But you have to get through her chewing your ear off and being so self-centered the whole time. So it's up to you if you can cope with that for the poussoir. This kind of thing proceeded for the next hour and a bit. It's a long time for a woman to be speaking about themselves. You have to get another drink in to try and get through it. A few times I tried to get into the conversation where we could both chip in. On one of the few occasions she let me talk, she interrupted me to tell me she was bored and tired. Saying you're bored on a date is extremely rude, and I would have just smiled and said, hey, you know, let's get out of here. Or if you want to be cheeky, because you don't really care about this girl and you might want to have a bit of fun, say, yeah, I'm bored too, let's go back to mine and have a bit of fun. Or something like that. You could probably word it much better, but you know what I mean. But yeah, this, for someone to say that on a first date, because I'm sure you probably bought the drinks, you took time out your day to meet her, you got dressed up, maybe put on a nice shirt, and she's saying, hey, I'm bored. Well, she hasn't even given you the opportunity to be entertaining because she's been talking the whole time. So maybe she's calling herself boring. He continues to say, I'd already figured we weren't compatible, but at this point decided it was time to go home. Yeah, completely fine. You don't want to drag this out any longer than you wanted to, especially if I guess in some ways, if the way she's acting, it probably just makes her unattractive, end of. Even if when she turned up she looked pretty, her personality brought that attractiveness down really quickly. He says, shout out to the point where she spent however many minutes telling me that the Olympics wasn't that impressive because she couldn't tell if it was hard or not to be good as a sport. Okay, yeah, these conversations that you're having with her don't sound very interesting. And it sounds like it's coming from her mouth as well. So her saying it's a boring date is probably more of a reflection on her. Let's read some of the comments here, because I'm sure there's a couple of guys who might have been on a date where a woman has showed no interest in them and it's all been about her. So this comment says, I'm lost on talking about a day for 45 minutes reminds me of books where the author spends an entire chapter describing a wall. Well, some women do just love talking, and that's where they get the satisfaction about, where the conversation is about them and they don't really care about the person opposite them. Probably don't even know that person's name. That was a successful date with no need whatsoever for a follow-up date. You determined you weren't a match. That's efficiency. Well done. Yeah, you don't want to be wasting your time on women who aren't interested. That's why I always go in for the first kiss on the first day, because very quickly you find out if that girl is attracted to you or not. And that's not a well-liked viewpoint from most people. Some people say, oh no, you shouldn't go for the kiss on the first date. Only go when it feels right on the second or third date. But she's going to go for the first kiss with Zac Efron, isn't she? So that's the standard you should hold yourself at. You want to be with a woman who has genuine burning desire for you and not be wasting your time on women who are a bit wish-washy about you. This comment says, I have a friendly neighbour like that. I call these incessant talkers radios. They just go on and on. Yeah, that's about right. Someone says, dated a woman like this for way longer than I should have. Didn't let me talk without interrupting and hijacking every conversation. Yeah, you don't want to be in this, like this guy, where you just stick around. You think it will get better, or maybe you're a guy who doesn't get a lot of matches with women, so you just put up with bad behaviour from women. But no, as a guy, if you notice bad behaviour in a woman, cut them off as soon as possible, because time is your most valuable resource. And there's some wonderful women out there. You just got to find them, got to put yourself out there, you've got to approach women in person, and you'll find a woman who has an interest in you. Let's read one more final comment. I once had a friend like that. We were in the kitchen and I tried to tell her a single thing that had happened to me that week. After every half of the sentence, she'd pipe up with how she was reminded of something about her life. I do have a friend kind of like this, where, you know, you're talking, you're excited about something that happened in your day, and you just tell them, just having like a blank face, or they're going on their phone, or they change topic, or they didn't ask you questions related to what you were talking about. And yeah, it leaves a bit of a sour taste in your mouth, and you realise probably that friend isn't someone you should have around. And especially when it comes to dating, you should be cutting those people off as soon as possible. Anyway, an interesting one there. A girl saying, I'm bored on a date. He'll certainly be remembering that for a long period of time, and that won't be the last time she says that to a guy. But she's going to struggle. If she speaks like that and treats guys who take time out of their day to meet her, she's going to be single for a very long time. Anyway, cheers guys. See you later.